Gabe,
And Dave.
and this is another Elder Scrolls 6 video.
If anything sounds different, it's because we're recording this in the basement.
Much better, quality, because there's no screaming kids in the basement.
No screaming kids. It's a plus.
They have gags in their mouths.
No.
Anyway,
it's not
so this is a viewer request video.
Viewer request from Nam Nam about quests.
And essentially, I was kind of unsure of exactly how he meant it, if we were going to talk about what quests would actually be in the game, or how they do it, so we kind of did a little bit of both.
A little bit.
Yeah. We're going to be discussing certain quest types, how they should be handled, and how the journal system should be handled in regards to the quests. So we're going to discuss the main quest, guild quests, good side quests, that aren't really part of any guild one. Kind of like in Morrowind, where you found that one Khajiit.
Yeah, good. Everyone knows what the hell side quest is.
Yeah, well, no, they don't. A lot of people don't, sadly.
If they don't, they don't deserve.
They don't deserve to be here. Yes, and Radiant quests. Speaking of Radiant quests, we're going to be talking about first how to get Radiant and side quests.
How you should get them.
Yes, and there's a few ways this can be handled, and we hope all the ways are actually utilized. The first one I want to cover, and this is actually an idea from Dave.
Dang straight.
That would have to do with Radiant quests mostly, and I think this is the main way they should be covered is tavern boards.
You know how cities have billboards in a lot of RPG-ish games that give you quests. Yeah, screw that. Put them in every tavern in the game has a billboard of sticky board, whatever the hell you want to call it, of just quests for you to do. And that would be perfect for Radiant, because I have a feeling they could do Radiant, but they can also mix up the Radiant a little bit.
Yeah, they can mix it up more. They don't have to worry about paying as much for voice acting to give you quests, which means they can give you more details, and it's not somebody running up to you saying, hey, I need you to do this for me, as some of them were in Skyrim.
Annoying.
Yeah, that was rather annoying. So this is a good way to kind of handle it, where Radiant quests are still a thing, but they're handled more by, notes up on a board.
This seems it also could look cool. I actually think there was.
It would look very cool.
I think there was actually a mod that did this sort of.
In Skyrim?
I believe there was a mod for Skyrim.
I think there's a mod for each and every Elder Scrolls game since Morrowind that kind of does something similar, where you can actually go get boards from the job board. So that would be wonderful to see implemented for getting the Radiant quests. And like I said, I say that because we don't want it to be some weird, immersion breaking. Hey, I need you to go get this book I lost in the Draugr tomb you were in 5 minutes ago.
Oh, it was there, even though it was just in there 5 minutes ago. Now it's there. It's weird.
Yeah, it's sad. So far as non-Radiant quests, though, there'd be, the side quests, and they're going to be handled more in the way they were in Morrowind and Oblivion. And I'm saying Oblivion because they did side quests and they're quite well too. You go into, what was it, Shaden Hall, I think? Actually, let me see the map real quick, Dave. Dave, hand me the map.
Oh,
You're
you want me to
sitting right next to it.
You should have just said hand me. I thought you could see it from there, you filthy casual.
Chorrol. It was in Chorrol. Where that Argonian lady comes up to you and she welcomes you to the town, and if you say something nice to her, say, oh, thank you for welcoming me, you actually get better prices at her mother's shop, and then there's a whole quest that develops involving her being kidnapped. Something similar to that. Obviously, I said before, we don't like the whole running up idea, but that's because it was too constant in Skyrim. That can still be a thing. But for getting a lot of the side quests, word of mouth is a good thing.
Word of mouth, I think, should be the primary.
Yeah, people, talking about it, saying, hey, there's this thing that needs to be done, and it's a specifically designed side quest. And that's what makes it different from Radiant quests.
I also thought, not just word of mouth, there should also legit be a mailbox. Like, if you get a house...
Yeah, you can get mail. That'd be nice.
Instead of people running up to you, they run your mailbox. I think
that could be more for Radiant, though. Well, I guess you could do both. If you had a good friend who needed your help, they sent you a piece of mail.
And how cool would that be to get a quest through the mail?
That makes you think it'd be nice to have kind of like an online thing where you can talk to your friends via the game with that kind of thing. That's for a different video, huh?
It'd be cool if you could see the mail being delivered by bird.
You just have a guy walking in doing it. Or a gal. No, you know what? Make the Khajiits do it.
You're no fun.
But it's different from Radiant quests, because the side quests, a lot of people think, well, it's the same as Radiant quests. Someone tells you by word of mouth. No, these are specially designed quests. They're one of a kind, unique.
Handcrafted, isn't it?
Right. Every bit of it is a handcrafted point of the stage, just like in Morrowind and Oblivion. So it's not some quest the same guy will give you 50 times. If you ask him enough, it's a one-time thing. And it can be very complex and very deep. So word of mouth is one way to get it. Self-discovery.
Self-discovery. Oh, look at this giant tree. I should think about reading a book on it or something.
Yeah, like a giant tree that's glowing or something like that. And this has been, I believe, in all three of the last games where you do have these self quests. You kind of find something on your own, so you go on a quest to figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
Say, what the hell is going on here? Now that's something that would be interesting to have, and I hope they put that back in the games. Overhearing rumors, Oblivion did this amazingly. And I don't give Oblivion much praise for certain reasons, but Oblivion did do some things really well, and the rumors thing was great. You heard about the priest of Dibella being slaughtered, and what was it? Anvil.
It's weird how
Wait,
you
is it Anvil?
I'm pretty sure it's Anvil.
I think it's an Anvil.
It's weird how you have a map of Oblivion.
I have a map of Oblivion and Morrowind sitting right here.
Actually, the Morrowind one is on the wall.
Well, because it was falling down, then the Oblivion one fell down, we don't have anywhere to hang it. So, man, we'll figure that out later. But, overhearing rumors about that kind of thing to kick off a quest to investigate something is a good way to do it, and it's a non-intrusive way. It just pops up that you wrote a note in your journal. You jotted something down, like, hey, I need to investigate this further. No one interrupts you. You don't have to talk to anybody. You don't have to go looking for it. It just happens in normal conversation.
It just works.
It just works. Thanks, Todd Howard. And last but not least, the obvious way, and this was done in Skyrim, it was more pronounced in Skyrim, would be from the leaders of the town. Because in Skyrim, if you want to complain, you have to do so many things to help the people. A lot of those were radiant quests. There were some that were regular quests, like getting the sword for the guy. But
that whole thing in I forget what city it was where they had the whole big quest line with you having to help that ghost girl burned in a house.
Yeah,
cool.
that was creepy. Not cool.
That wasn't creepy.
This ghost girl burned in that house. You find out there's a vampire involved. It's a little creepy.
No.
You go to this town, you see a burnt down house, and suddenly there's vampires, Dave. It's not a normal day.
That's a normal day in Elder Scrolls.
No, I guess it is. In Skyrim, it's a normal day.
Mm-hmm.
So from the town leaders, and again, we don't think it's going to be the same. Obviously, it's not in Skyrim, and it's not going to be the same as Skyrim. Every game's had different towns, and the way they're done are different. So it'll be unique to see what their town leaders are. If it's like a mayor, or if it's like in Morrowind, where the houses controlled several towns, and sometimes they had house members there, sometimes they didn't.
Well, see, in my mind, even if it was like Morrowind, where they had a house control city, they would still have to be like
there'd be somebody there.
Like a captain guard who's in charge of the guards in the city, and you can go to him.
So anybody who's a high-ranking official in town.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of the same as, talking to people through word of mouth, but it's more direct, because in Oblivion, once you had a certain reputation, you were sought out to do a quest for Bruma. There was the leader of Bruma, she actually sent one of her messengers after you. So it could be something similar to that. Once you gain a certain reputation throughout the world, they're like, hey, you know what, this guy might be useful. So it's different from the word of mouth in the fact that it is something based on reputation. And that's actually going to be similar to what we're going to be talking about in our next point. And our next point is actually guilds.
Guilds!
And for any of you who watched our other video about guilds, you'll know why I said that certain rank, or in this case reputation for the earlier point we just made, would make a difference. Guilds in Skyrim sucked so bad, and there were so many quests that were radiant, it was just ridiculous.
Yeah, they were really...
I mean, when you're making a guild, you need to put effort into it, Bethesda, and put in a lot of custom-made, handcrafted quests. That would be nice. Like the first quest to go beat somebody up, to, help keep them from extorting the town or whatever it was. It was random. It was a radiant quest. You had different town leader every single time, and sometimes they would get glitched and then you couldn't talk to them. So that needs to change. No more radiant quests in guilds, except for like really minor, small things.
I think actually it should be more. You never played the Brotherhood, which actually did.
I did.
I don't think you did.
I did.
I don't remember
Companions, Dave. I played through the entirety of the Companions, became a werewolf.
No, I was thinking about the Brotherhood.
The Dark Brotherhood?
The Dark Brotherhood.
Oh, well, I didn't play through it in Skyrim. No, I did I did the one in Oblivion.
The Dark Brotherhood actually probably the best story out of all. It actually had unique quest line.
Yes.
But I was gonna say the quests, ambient quests.
Radiant.
There we go. I forgot already. Radiant quests, just like with the Dark Brotherhood, should only be available after you're the head of the guild or you beat the guild quest. just like in Dark Brotherhood and Skyrim.
Well, they shouldn't be available for ranking up in the guild.
Yeah,
they should just be
that's the
small.
bigger
That's the thing I'm concerned about. They should just be small little side fun things you can get. I mean, yeah, rating quests are there, but they play no bearing on whether or not you rank up in the guild. And go watch our guilds video, link in the description and annotation on the screen to learn about what we think about guilds. That's a whole nother nightmare. Yeah, rating quests, they should be completely removed for quests given by your masters. The guild halls each have a leader, and there is the guild leader overall. All of these people should be able to give you quests when you talk to them, and you can't do certain quests until you've reached a rank, like in Morrowind, the Balmora Mages Guild. I can't remember the lady's name. Something Reigns, I think.
I can't remember.
She's a Dunmer. And she won't give you any quests till you're a certain rank.
Oh, okay.
So she tells you instead to go to somebody who's slightly higher than you, a journeyman. That was Ajira. And you have to go talk to Ajira to get quests, and after you do her quests, you can get some ranks, and then you can go talk to another guild hall member who can give you quests as well. Or you can talk to Lady in Balmora and become a psychopath. Both are fine. But that is the kind of thing I want to see with these quests, is that you can get quests from members who rank higher than you, or from, hall leaders or the guild leader. That should be the primary, way of getting quests, along with doing favors for certain people in the guild.
Yeah, it's doing favors and
So they aren't exactly quote unquote quests in the sense, but they're like under the table things that you'll earn their trust better.
Along with, if the guilds have stories, which I'm assuming they will.
Yes.
Along with the story, there should always, for all the guilds, there should be power play quests to help certain people getting higher up, or get rid of the leader, or all that kind of stuff. And you can do it in such a way so it makes it easier for you when you want to become leader.
Mm-hmm. And all of these need to be handcrafted. None of this radiant, random picking this individual to go do this for that thing kind of stuff. Handcrafted, well-designed quests that have multiple ways to complete them and multiple outcomes. Guilds really sucked in Skyrim. The biggest part of it was the quests and the ranking system.
Mm-hmm.
So the quests, go hand in hand with the ranking system. You can't get a quest from the guild leader until you're leader of a guild hall, and that brings us up to our next point about the guilds, is when you are the ranking person at a guild hall. Let's say you're running a hall now.
Yeah.
You can get the quests from the guild head, and you can either do them yourself or disperse them to other people. So you can deal with quests like this where you say, I have this quest to do, I'm going to send one of my minions out to do it.
Yeah, let's say there are radiant quests at higher levels only. You can assign, since you don't want to do them, you can give those radiant quests to underlings.
Well, that wasn't just radiant quests I was meaning, but any quest, radiant quest especially. But there's a chance, if it's a really important quest, a story quest, or just a well-crafted, handcrafted quest, that they'll fail. Well, and then you have to go fix it.
Yeah, I would say probably all the main story ones, I would say no, you have to.
Well, I said main story or larger quests. It's like a handcrafted quest.
I would say, if it's
a main story quest, well, here's the thing with guilds. Is part of being in a guild is you have to show your leadership. And the only way to show leadership is to be able to give responsibility to other people and control them.
Well, yeah, you can give responsibility to others without. To me, that would diminish the fun being able to give away quests that are pretty awesome with the story.
I didn't mean like the most awesome ones. Obviously, they're ones that they can't handle. That only you can handle.
Well, no, it doesn't even mean you can't handle it if they have a good story or something. I'm just saying lower end radiant quests and certain quests should be available for underlings, and there should obviously there should always be a supply of those for them. To do. There should
always be a supply of radiant quests for people to do. But the point is, like the main story, like if it's a quest that you absolutely would want to do, it shouldn't be givable to anybody, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Something that's really going to be impactful. But if the main leader tells you, I need you to go get something, you can send someone else to do it, or do it yourself.
Yeah, that's fine.
So I'm not talking like major quests. You should still be able to give quests to your underlings in the hall. Once you become the guild leader, give quests to everybody. Of course, that's when radiant quests kick in the guilds big time. You can start giving radiant quests to people, and they have a chance of success or failure. And again, go check out our guild's video for how that would work ranking people up after that. That's pretty much all we have about the guilds, though. We've already covered, side quests and radiant quests in general. So next, we're going to talk about the main quest. In handling the main quests, they have to be careful.
They have to do better than Skyrim, although Skyrim wasn't that bad either.
Well, Skyrim gave you a false sense of urgency, and I don't think they should do that because that happened in Oblivion as well. I think they should go back to the way they did it in Morrowind, which is, it's more subdued and gradual. You don't really know right off the bat why you're working for Chaos Casades. You just know that you have been sent with no explanation to Morrowind, and these are your orders. And there's no sense of urgency in those orders. You're told to go to him right away, but then he tells you, go adventure, go explore. The main quest needs to be integrated into the game world like that, where the main quest giver, whoever it is and however it is, doesn't let you know that you're this important person, doesn't let you know that you're this individual who's chosen. Spoiler alert, if you haven't already played Morrowind, which
Hopefully
you should have.
there isn't. I honestly don't want any of the, you're the chosen one, this normal thing.
Right, well, in Morrowind they did it the right way, I think. But you don't know that you're the one that Azura sent. Now in Morrowind, you aren't necessarily the chosen one. He doesn't tell you you're the chosen one either. You can become the Nerevarine, but you're not necessarily the Nerevarine. You have the signs of somebody who could be the Nerevarine, so that's the spoiler. If any of you didn't know that, well, you should have played this freaking game by now. At least watch the Let's Play.
What, 15 years late?
14, almost 15. It's getting there. So yeah, the main quest needs to be handled completely differently. None of this urgency, none of this running. I know a lot of these younger casual fans love the action right away. You gotta go kill, 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 fight, fight, fight. And that doesn't mean that the main quest has to be boring right away. You can catch their attention with something, major happening, and then things settle down. If that's what it takes with this casual crowd. But it needs to be more subdued and more drawn out and more complex and integrated into the world. You should have to build a cover identity. You should have to do these other things. You should have to go out adventuring to learn the lay of the land. That all gets you to explore the game world. And that is an amazing part of what makes Morrowind's main quest so great. And of course, in Oblivion they did have some points where, you were on certain missions, but, you couldn't fast travel those. You had to walk and see different things. In Skyrim they have the similar thing. We had to go through certain things, but it wasn't as ingrained as it is in Morrowind. It wasn't required, really. There's a lot of ways to bypass that. I think there's a Morrowind too, if you already went out and quested before you went to Chaos Casades, but that means you already did it.
Yeah.
So that's how we think the main quest should be handled, not something like someone saying, oh my gosh, you're the Dragonborn!
Oh,
you should go to the top of High Hrothgar now! And it should be, people are kind of hemming and hawing with it, and they're not going to say anything outright, but they want you to, figure things out. And they want you to get some world experience. That would be great. But what would be even better is if they knew how to handle quests better. And when I say, how they handle quests, I mean how they handle it with a journal system. That is a pretty major part of the game that has been killed in Skyrim. Even Oblivion had a journal system. A lot of people don't realize it because they just went with quest markers.
Yeah.
But there was actually a journal system in Oblivion. But I'm going to go with a way that was kind of like a mixture between Oblivion and Morrowind. I think they need to bring back a journal book, which, Dave, you had a good idea about that.
Yeah, actually, I was actually thinking about this. If you ever played Witcher 2, I think it was, when you had to make potions, you actually sat down and you made potions. And my idea for the journal was that when you want to look at your journal, you find a place and you sit down. It's actually like a thing you have to go through and
read your journal. You actually show the animation. You open the book and you want to turn the page. Shows your hand to turn the page.
Your character actually holds the book. You turn the pages. The pages are different things.
That would be way more immersive. Now I'm not sure if they always have to sit down for it. Sometimes you're on the run, like you're walking and you want to check your journal real fast. So that should be a thing.
Well, yeah, they could maybe do something different, but or maybe later on you can get a magical book or something, so you can do it. Maybe you can open it while you're walking, like you have a magical tablet on your arm.
I think we just stick with the fact that it's a book and you can open it up and walk and look at the same time, Dave. It'd be so much easier.
You're no fun. You shut the hell up.
I'm not fun at all. But a lot of people are like, no, the journal system is bad because it's so difficult to navigate. Actually, Morrowind's journal was not that bad to navigate if you had the expansions.
If you had the
Yeah, if you didn't have the expansions, it was a little iffy. But it actually marked your active quests. You could sort through active and completed quests. But instead of saying active quests and completed quests, I think it should have, available quests and completed quests as a subsection you can look into, and the ability to actually physically bookmark a quest. So if you want a quest to be quote-unquote active, this is going to help with immersion, right? You bookmark that quest. You take a bookmark and you put it in there. You can have several in there at a time, so you can actually visibly see it when you look at your journal. That would be really cool.
The only thing I can see would be, realistically, you only have a couple bookmarks, so you can only have so many active quests.
Well, I can just add an unlimited amount. It doesn't matter.
No, I don't want an unlimited amount of bookmarks. I want there to be like 2.
There are people out there who have like 7 or 8 quests active at once. I mean,
maybe you can find more bookmarks. I don't know.
I think you should be able to have as many as you want, but most people won't use that, so it'll be fine. Most people won't see a horrendous bookmark thing. But when you have the bookmarks in, you hit the key to bring up your journal, which is usually J on the PC when it was Morrowind. You flip straight to the bookmarked areas first. So you can sift through the bookmarked areas first, and if you just want to read your journal in general, you can just click on the little icon at the bottom that says journal, and then just go straight to the regular journal to the current day, what your most recent entry is. That would be really cool.
The only thing I can see would be kind of cool is, I actually, if like your character wrote in it, like he's doing a quest, and you see him get a pen out and write in it. What if you what if you do something and somehow you mess it up, and so that journal page doesn't have to exist anymore, but there's other information on it that's relevant? Well, it'll just magically disappear because it's a little realism breaking.
Well, no, the journal itself, nothing disappears. It's just when you get a quest done, that'll go into your completed quest thing, so it's no longer bookmarked.
Yeah.
And you still flip back to the journal to see it. Nothing disappears from the journal. It didn't disappear in Skyrim either, it just went into the finished section.
They're going to have one thing I think they kind of had it in Morrowind, was that you need to have the journal entry tagged with the mission. Because it's a pain in the dick to go through your journal and actually have to read, this journal entry goes to this mission.
Well, that's the thing. In Morrowind, when you selected the active quest, it just showed the journal entries having to do with that mission.
Yeah.
That's what I think they should do, similar to that, when you bookmark a mission. But the reason we bring this up is because it wasn't like that in Skyrim. A lot of people saying, well, it's because they couldn't give you much detailed information to make a real journal because voice acting is expensive. They don't have to. Someone can just hand you a piece of paper. Here, I wrote down the details of the quest on this, and you add it to your journal. There's no voice acting extra in that except for that tiny little bit of dialogue, which I'm sure they could just record one person saying for each one, and that's done. It's not going to cost that much more.
I wrote this on a piece of paper.
And they can give that to you. It gives you more details, and that's another thing that the quest journal has to have more details. It can't just be, I have a quest, I will do it. It's got to be way more detailed than that, and that can all be part of the written part. And you can read it if you want to, or if you have a quest bookmarked, have a quest marker. You have both. The best of both worlds, without the extra cost, very much, of voice acting. It's a small soundbite, it's real easy to add in, it just works. It just works. That, we think, would be the best idea for how to handle the quests for the player when they're getting them. Of course, the whole problem is you start out with a journal. What? Where'd you get this? I think the intro quest, whatever it is, of you being a prisoner, can mean you can find one.
You have to go fetch a journal.
Go fetch a journal. Quest update. Wait, where do I write this? You grab it with my hand.
Yeah, he gets a little penny, puts it in his arm.
But seriously, the opening thing, you're probably in a prison cell, is you can find a journal on your way out, and there you go. Now you have a quest journal.
No, it has to be after you're out, so you have different ways of acquiring a journal. So, different, you can go buy one, you can find one. I just want to, you have to get a journal. When you see someone walking by right at the beginning, so, the dick option is to just punch the person and take their journal.
Take a blank book from them. Yeah, that would be interesting. And that's the thing, it would add more immersion. Now, that's obviously not necessary, but some people would enjoy that.
I would enjoy that.
I think that it would be fun. But that's probably never going to happen. So, you start it out with a journal. Mods. Yeah. Leave it moddable, folks. You start out with a journal, you write your stuff in your journal, detailed notes, everything would be great. It's the best of both worlds. And if anybody doesn't like it, well, guess what? They don't have to use that feature. They just bookmark the quests they want, and they get the little quest marker that floats in front of them. It just works. Well, that's all the thoughts I've got on this. Dave, anything else to add?
No, not really. Honestly, quest wasn't the biggest thing in the world. It's a little subject.
It still needed touch to follow.
Well, I didn't say it didn't. I just said it was a littler thing. But yeah, if there's any other topics you want us to talk about, especially you, Nam Nam, leave them down there in the comments below, and we will sure to get to them as soon as we can.
And to correct Dave, it isn't a little thing. It's the main thing of all the games, but it's a difficult topic to make a long video about.
Well, yes and no. But do you have any idea what the next video is going to be about?
I've got a few ideas. I'd like to leave them surprised what's going to be having to do with certain mechanics within the game. And we will leave it at that.
Okay, thank you for watching. And don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you later.
Yeah, if you want more of this kind of stuff, subscribe to our playlist
and
and
don't
our
forget
channel.
we have a Patreon.
Thanks, Dave.